For a football coach, there's nothing that matches the pain of a team not playing up to its capabilities. You better have an anchor in life. It doesn't matter if you're a Division I head football coach or Joe Schmo from Okemo. Bad things happen. If you're not anchored, you're going to be washed away. I wanted to play football, and my football coach told me if I wanted to be a football player, should wrestle. That's why I started to wrestle. I became a head football coach when I was 27 years old at Miami of Ohio. The characteristic that every college football coach should look for in a wife is independence. I'm no longer the head football coach at Ohio State. Keith Butler is a very good football coach. I'm a football coach, not a model. I believe in Coach Louis Wong. He is so much more than just a football coach. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I never really had a job. I was a football player, then a football coach, then a football broadcaster. It's been my life. Pro football has been my life since 1967. I've enjoyed every part of it. Never once did it ever feel like work. I was hired to be the head football coach, not the general manager. I can remember various stages when I wanted to be an artist, a football coach, and a musician but never an actor. However, I'll have to admit that now that I'm in this business I like it and would hate to have to give it up. Of course, any work you do as a sporting person, a football coach or any coach, if it is good work, you've got to have something, a championship, to show for it. I know the reality of the business. But I also say, not in a braggadocious way, that I'm a good football coach. If I had maintained my athletic fantasy, I probably would have ended up as a fat football coach somewhere in central Pennsylvania. I'm really glad I'm starring in a Broadway musical instead. If you grew up in a household with a football coach who looks like a drill sergeant, you would think you would be tough. I'm going to coach here as long as I can. As long as I'm effective for North Carolina, I will be the football coach. I had no ambition to be a football coach. I wanted to be a spy for MI5 or MI6. For some reason the football coach of a major college program is seen as one of the leaders of the campus. And some way we have to let our young people know that that leader can look like anyone. I think that the role as a head football coach is a lot more than just winning games. Sometimes that's all we're measured upon. I learned a great many things in the Marines that helped me as a football coach. The Marines train men hard and to do things the right way, just as a football team must train. I'm close to Coach Kingsbury. He really helped my game and helped me as a person a lot. He's a genuine good person and, at the same time, a very smart football coach. I'm a football coach. It seems the league is cyclical and hiring young guys, but experience in the NFL still means a heck of a lot. A lot of things look good on an academic's blackboard in terms of the actions that need to be taken. It's almost like a football coach. When you draw the X's and O's, every play that is chalked on that board goes for a touchdown. Well, there are a lot of yards to be made between the line of scrimmage and the touchdown. As a football coach, everything in your life comes after your football schedule. I just could not make that commitment. Fortunately for me, my grandfather gave us a life I could never dream of. He was my high school football coach, my best friend, my school teacher, really my dad. Dad had great people investing in his life at a young age. His mother, his stepfather, his Boy Scout leader, his football coach. That's where integrity is planted, like seeds that are harvested later. Every day I pull into that parking spot that says, head football coach, I get out of my car and pinch myself sometimes, just to make sure it's real, sort of like, is this really happening? William McKinley Oswald was my high school football coach. He was a great coach and had a profound influence on my life, but I think he could have learned his method of motivating players from an Army drill sergeant. As a retired football coach, I know a good bit about teamwork and winning. There's nothing like having a football coach yelling at you at homecoming in front of a bunch of people. You do kind of get used to being inflappable in front of all that heated emotion. At times, that's very useful in business. If the be-all and end-all of your ability is, have you got a trophy to your name, I find that hard to understand. It's so naive in terms of what the job of being a football coach is all about. American politics are rich with characters and stereotypes, Joe the plumber, Harry and Louise, NASCAR dads and hockey moms, to name a few. But one persistent type hasn't gotten much attention, the Republican football coach. When I was really little, I was on a Pop Warner squad. I did it for a year. My dad was a Pop Warner football coach. I did it because my best friend was also on this cheer squad, and of course I looked up to my sister who was a cheerleader, so I wanted to cheer. My dad is a high school football coach in Texas, so I've been around this game for a long time. At the end of the day, I'm a good defensive football coach. My dad's a football coach, that's what he does. My dream, I remember, when I went to boarding school, was to have a study all my own, a little nook someplace where nobody could get at me, nobody, like the football coach. Since I was 15 or 16 years old, my grandfather was my high school football coach and my life's been ball. Dinners were talking about ball and college were talking about ball. Stepping down after 18 years as the head football coach here at Oklahoma, and I feel like I've absolutely been the luckiest, most fortunate guy in the world. When I was a kid growing up, my dad being a football coach, he asked the same question of all the assistants that he ever hired: is your goal to be a head football coach? I'm the 7th chancellor at Vanderbilt. Bobby Johnson is the 25th head football coach. That shows a lack of commitment to attract and retain. Because I am the football coach doesn't mean I can dictate to people what they believe. I don't want to be the athletic director at Texas, that's not my expertise. I don't want to take wins as a football coach and have someone shove me into that position because they'd think I'd like it, that I deserve it, or a pat on the back. Why can't a 7-foot guy play a doctor? Why can't I be a teacher? Why can't I be a football coach? Why can't I be a cab driver? Anything else than that. I can cry. I can do those things that they think the big guys can't do. So just give us a chance. If you say you're a football coach, especially with a dude, they're always all over you. I'm a football fan first and foremost, but I've been given an incredible opportunity to be a football coach in the National Football League. I'm not a one-hit wonder. When you look at my background, I think I've been successful at all stops along the way. I know the kind of responsibility it takes to be a head football coach. Bo Schembechler will go down in history as the greatest football coach. He knows the game, he works hard, and he's not a crook. I believe we have the best football coach in the country in Urban Meyer. I had the privilege of hiring him, as you know, and I think he is doing fabulous work. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.